go.
We're good to go.
It's been a week.
It has been a week, yes. It has been a week.
What a huge week.
Oh, I haven't stopped.
No, neither.
No.
I could just go home and have a sleep.
And I'm teaching tomorrow.
Yeah, Saturday.
Saturday morning, yeah. We've got a drawing class tomorrow, so...
Wow. That'll be peaceful. Are you going on a trip or are you just doing it here? Or?
No, doing it here. Yep, it's one of those core units that's linked with the elective, so it means that I'll be doing some drawing that sort of relates to their sculpture or printmaking. Yeah.
Well, I'm not officially teaching. However, the camera club, the Wodonga photography group,
Yep.
they had their epic exhibition opening. They've got about 1,000 members online on Facebook, and they're having workshops on Saturday.
Right.
And I'm
You're going to be a guest or...
workshop B. I will have a workshop.
You'll be a facilitator.
Thank you. Thanks for letting me hang there.
Is that a good word, you think?
Facilitator.
Something like that.
Yeah. So I'm doing one on 5-minute portraits.
Okay.
Yeah. Instead of, watching Saturday morning cartoons.
Yeah.
Well, that'll be fun. I hope.
Very good.
Bit nervy, but that's alright.
Now, I've forgotten my tie again.
Yeah, I know, and I've made an error. Well, I've made several errors with mine. I think because it's a skinny tie,
Yeah.
I shouldn't have gone the double Windsor.
It's a big
It's a big
knot. It's a statement,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Well, I just, because that's
It's okay.
just, yeah.
It's alright.
What if I do it ironically and just have it low like that?
I think that's good.
Is that good?
Yeah. Anyway, sorry folks, I forgot my tie again, but maybe next time.
But we did get Brenton a present because he made special point to whinge about it last time.
Oh, look at that.
There you go.
There is the cat. There is the cat. Well, look, I'm not meeting it again in person, but this is good.
It'll get you by.
It will get, yeah.
I looked at him this morning and he was asleep on the bed and I was like, do I bring him? Should I? And he just gave me that look of go away human.
Yes,
so I was like, all right, maybe next week.
Yeah, all right. Very good.
Yeah. Hey, I saw your Instagram feed.
Did you?
Coming alive.
It is, yeah, little by little.
Little bits of, I don't know, well, you'll know how to describe it, but it's just bits of textures and cool macro stuff.
It's all about mobile phone photography. Simple as that.
Okay.
I don't edit in Instagram at all. It's
Okay.
just using anything on here,
Yeah.
and wherever I am out and about, I click away,
Mm.
and then I have a bit of a edit with it, and if anything's interesting, up it goes.
Mm.
So, yeah, bit of an experiment.
Yeah. What do you hope people get out of it?
Well, to me, it's the whole creative thinking process.
Yeah.
So it's not about finished product.
Okay.
When it works out, it's nice, and it looks good. That's a bonus. But it's more about the creative process. So like when you crop something, you look down, and all of a sudden you see a section of the photograph that you might not have thought to be pretty severe with, and crop right down to, and then just see what happens.
Yep.
That just those sorts of things.
Oh, cool.
So bit of fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bit of fun.
Yeah. It's nice to have. It's like a boredom reliever, isn't it? If you're in the doctor's waiting room.
Yep.
Take some pictures.
Yep.
It's that. I should stop playing with mine while it's recording. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah. So your Instagram at Saxby says.
At Saxby says, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. I would encourage you to follow.
You've been Instagramming for a while, haven't you?
I have.
I'm new to this, so
yeah. Well, I probably got into it more once I started TAFE. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Being at the newspaper, I attempted Twitter. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Instagram's much. Yeah. I don't know. I have. You try and do something serious on Instagram, and you might get 4 likes, and then you'll post a photo of, you know, your wife in a silly hat, and you'll get 100 likes, and you're like,
yeah. Well, I mean, with mine,
yeah,
I know I'm not going to get 3,000 people following, because it's just just clicking away and having a bit of fun. So it's and that's okay. That's all right. Look, if it's up there and if people like it, they like it. If they don't, they don't. There's lots of other things you can follow in life.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
yeah, I like it. I shall put a link on the YouTube page to Brenton's Instagram. Saxby says.
It's a bit of publicity, isn't it? Really?
Well, considering for our first Sanctuary video, we had 9 views.
9 views?
9 views, and there's only about a staff of 7, and we only released it to staff initially, so we'll make it public now.
Well, I don't know whether my mother lasted until the end of the last episode, but did yours?
I didn't hear back.
Yeah. Right, okay.
Mum sort of thinks a lot of the stuff on the internet is a virus.
Right.
And she thinks a lot of the other stuff on the internet is porn. So even though I'm not involved in either of those fields, she's still sceptical to click on anything I send her.
Yeah.
Which is...
It's okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, hopefully, if there's some students who did watch it, hopefully there were a few little gems in there but yeah.
Yeah.
Ben and I see this as very much a process. Yeah. So, the first few things are going to have a few rough edges.
Absolutely.
And that's okay.
Yeah. I mean, picture a guy pushing 30 and a guy pushing 35 trying to have a crack at, staying relevant and speaking to an audience.
Yeah.
Yeah. And doing it on a budget of zilch. Okay. That's my camera from home. That's a GoPro 2.
Yeah.
And they're up to GoPro 4s now. That light came from somewhere. And our mics are our iPhone. So,
Yeah.
But
But that's kind of nice though, because that's part of the process, isn't it? One of the things that we talk about in visual arts is how can you adapt what you learn at TAFE to be able to do it fairly easily at home.
Okay.
So I kind of approach teaching in a way that, let's not get too, I suppose, high tech and using equipment that no one's ever going to be able to afford to use at home. If it can be transferred fairly easy to home, to me that's a good thing, because it's not something that just ends up in that little box that I did at TAFE in 2014.
And
it becomes something that, so, I mean, we're just using fairly simple technology. Last time we realised that it was very hollow in here, so we've gone and grabbed some bean bags from the studio that, you've got in the photo imaging studio. So that's soaking up a bit of the sound.
It sounds a little bit better.
It's a bit better, so we'll play with that over time.
Yeah.
So you're going to learn a bit about, the idea of a process, really.
If I'm honest, I have to apologise for positioning the GoPro in last week's episode in such a place that it cut Brendan's head off, because I thought he's going to sit there, and what he did was he sat and then he moved the chair back.
Moved back and
that's perfectly fine, and we didn't have a good angle on the talent, and I apologise. The other thing I screwed up was I overestimated how long the clip size could be coming out of the main camera.
Right.
So we talked for about 28 minutes, and I only got a 20-minute clip out of that camera.
There.
So that's why the extended ending was of this top-down view of half of Brenton and me. So, what else did we screw up? Such an open question.
I think, we're going to try and be a little bit more succinct, and you'll all be very pleased to know that we won't make you sit for 28 minutes every week to go through this. And apart from that, we're going to struggle to fill 28 minutes.
We're up to 10 minutes now.
We're already up to 10 minutes. Well, we better get a wriggle on, Ben, and get to some content, I think.
All right, content issue number 1.
Yep.
Adobe.
Yes.
We gave him a nice...
Ben's got a story, everyone.
A nice chat last week about them turning 25.
Yep.
And at the minute, we've got students who've come into Cert 4 and they're working out what cameras they want to buy, what lenses, and then what software they want to use to edit with. And for the last year or two, my answer has been, okay, Adobe's doing this Creative Cloud option where you can subscribe weekly to it. You could subscribe for a year, and that's one way to do it. Or if you're happy to settle for like a dozen less features, you can get Photoshop CS6, which was the last standalone version of Photoshop.
Right.
And that's been pretty straightforward. You can get a JB Hi-Fi, buy the student edition.
Buy it anywhere.
And you get change from $200 instead of change from $1,600. As a non-student or a non-teacher. Historically, Photoshop ages very slowly. I did practically all my professional career on like Photoshop 7 and CS2. And we're up to effectively CS7 now, except it's called CC. And so it's been a good deal. However, trying to speed things up, had a student saying she couldn't find it in any of the shops. So I said, come into my office. We sat down and we did a ring around. We called, what's the office supplies? Officeworks. Officeworks, Albury, Officeworks, Wodonga. She said she'd been to JB Hi-Fi, tried Harvey Norman. No, Harvey Norman. We stopped at those three. Then I called Adobe Direct for their sales hotline. I said, g'day mate, I'm Ben, I'm a teacher at Wodonga TAFE. Got a student sitting in front of me with a credit card. She wants to buy CS6, Photoshop. And like I said, I love Adobe. I've put food on my table for a long time, but the service I felt disappointed in. I said, we're hunting around your website and we can't find it. Could you please direct us to where it is? And he gave me a speech. You do realise it's been superseded and it's not going to be updated and it's about to not be supported anymore.
Which you would have known really, but anyway,
And I was like, well, yes, but my student doesn't feel comfortable going onto a subscription thing. You know, you're part-time, you're working casual, you're studying effectively full-time. Who wants to say, oh, I'm going to commit to forking $10 a week? You know, that's money you can spend on other stuff. So effectively, 18 weeks of Photoshop is the equivalent. Photoshop and Lightroom bundle, the photographer's bundle, $10 a week. And buying it outright, although it's the older model,
is
$180.
Around about the same price.
And you can keep it till you can.
And as you said, you'll get years of use out of that. And most of us will probably only ever use about 20-30% of what you can do anyway in it. So what happens from there?
He said, look, he wouldn't recommend it. I said, look, we know the risks. That's what she'd like to do. How can she get you her money and the product? He said, we won't sell it to you. You'll have to find it on our website. Right. I said, well, I thought, okay. Can you direct? And I said, all right, mate, that's all right. That sounds strange, but I get that. Where can we find it on your website? He said, I can't direct you to it. I don't know. You'll have to find it. It shouldn't be too hard to find. I said, okay, ballpark, how much money is this student up for? He goes, I don't know. The full version, as in the non-student teacher version, which is effectively the same version, they just give you a nice discount for being a student or a teacher, is about $1,600. I couldn't tell you what the student version is. You'll have to find it on the website. Thanks.
So, and no real direction as to where on the website. So you're still on your own trying to... So they're not really wanting people to do it, are they?
No. We went to the student and teacher section and there was the photographer's bundle, which wasn't at a cheaper rate from memory. It's a really good rate for Lightroom and Photoshop if you want to subscribe to it and you've got $10 a week to throw at it. Wasn't there, the standalone. we could use their search bar, and then eventually we found it on like the second page of results, and then it was the full version price, and we thought, no, and then we found some fine print down the side saying, if you want the student price, click here.
Right, okay.
Then we found it.
So you did actually find it eventually?
We did, but I just...
Yeah.
At what point did I stop becoming the customer is where, you know...
Yeah, you can kind of see the idea with the whole Creative Cloud, and I mean, everything, that's the way everything's going. But, yeah, it's locking out anyone who doesn't want to do it that way.
Yeah, I mean, who wants to... I like to go in, as a business, I don't like to start off with a lot of debt. If you're starting out as a young creative, you want to go and... You know, I like to think you work up, you get a couple of jobs and you buy the next one. So you get then you upgrade. I don't like this idea of buying everything new and shiny and then you're 10 grand in the hole before you...
But as you said, that's 18 weeks, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then after that, that student has to keep paying for that product.
Yeah. If you pay in advance, so if I commit to Photoshop for a year and I say, well, you get it cheaper. It's about 100, I think it's 110.
Yeah.
So you get a substantial discount for saying, I want to do it for a year. And then, look, I mean, I just think I bought my copy of Photoshop CS6 when I did some sessional work here in 2012. I thought, it's a good chance to update my Photoshop. And it's 2015 and I'm still like a pig in mud with it.
Yeah,
and that's $300 versus, I don't know.
It's a tricky one, isn't it?
So, I don't know. I don't know what to recommend my students now.
Yeah.
That said, there's a program out called Affinity Photo. It's in beta mode, only for Mac. But when that comes out, it's essentially a slicker, it's like a Photoshop's evil twin. It's cooler, slicker, does the same stuff. It's not as finessed at the mind you, it's only in beta.
Yeah.
But that's apparently going to come out at $50 standalone. It's compelling too. That's my rant.
But that's good. That's good for everyone to know, though, isn't it? You know, you've had to go through the hard way of getting to that point. But at least we know that there is a way that you can get round it. If you really want to. So, you've done the hard yards.
Oh, well, I mean, we can link you to it.
If people really want to know, then...
There's been a shift. This time last year, all the Cert 4s had no trouble getting the CS6. And
Isn't that amazing how quickly all of that's changing?
So my hope is that Photoshop's going to... come out with a standalone. CS7 standalone.
And I'd hate to think that we're moving more and more to that point where a lot of stuff ends up only for those who can afford it. You know, if you're a student and you're getting excited about all of this and you want to run with it and you're looking and thinking, well, I can't afford this. What am I going to do? You know?
I mean, paying off something $10 a week is very different to renting something $10 a week. Anyway, have you got good news? I'm just going to check that camera while we're going because I'm paranoid from last week.
Yeah.
Brenton will keep you confused.
Nothing sort of particular. I mean, we've only been in for a couple of weeks of classes, but I think I'm going to be a bit sort of like a dog with a bone on this one. The whole creative thinking thing, I think. I keep thinking about more and more. Nice story. I put up. Remember last week I talked about the fact that in the hub. Visual Arts Hub, I'd put up some stuff on creative thinking.
Oh, yeah.
And one of the students watched Von Glitschke's talk, and as a result of that, went away and she's done some drawing, and her words were, I did something that I didn't think I could do.
Whoa!
And she was really surprised at it. And what we talked about was the great thing that comes out of it, and that is with one of the creative thinking techniques, it's really just about actually doing something.
Okay.
Rather than thinking too much about it, and because the more you think about it, the more, if you're coming from an inexperienced basis, you can actually become frightened of it, and the fear freezes you and stops you from actually having a crack at something. So that was something that we talked about, and by just doing something, getting in and doing it, and not worrying about what it looks like, just actually getting in and doing it, she discovered that before long she was actually doing something that she, looked at and went, oh wow, I've really, in a short space of time, I've actually come a long way. So just one little creative thinking technique is just the act of doing.
Okay.
And just jot down notes, jot down ideas, do a quick sketch, take a quick photo, whatever it might be, think about your composition, but just actually get in and start it, don't sort of think too much about it.
Yeah.
But don't see those as finished products.
Okay.
So see the division between, a lot of that sort of stuff is just experimental, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Don't actually see it as too much of a finished product, and that way it doesn't matter if it doesn't work out.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? It's a really simple idea.
Yeah.
But it's really important to work at it, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Oh. So nothing profound, everyone, but
I am going to reset that.
I think it's a good little technique.
This is a horribly advanced technique. I'm going to stop recording here. We're going to carry over onto that one.
Right.
I'm going to hit recording here again. And now we've got another 20 minutes.
Now we've got another 20 minutes.
Do you mind giving us the... Lovely, thank you. That should help me line everything up.
We'll line it all up.
Before I get up, down.
Oh. You're really not going to let this go, are you?
No, I think we'll put it off a week. But did you have more serious stuff to talk about?
No.
Okay.
No.
So seriously, you're saying...
I want Mum to watch it right to the end.
Yeah. Are you... You're telling me creativity comes down to just sending it and getting something done.
Well,
that's the secret.
It's one of the steps in the process.
Okay.
Don't just get into it and do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. All right.
So why are you...
Well, see, Siberia...
the sanctuary.
The sanctuary, formerly known as Siberia, sanctuary, came with this cup of coffee, this granulated beverage.
Yes.
And it's just sat on that shelf. Well, I've been here a year and a bit, and this is the first time anyone's touched it. It feels a bit slimy.
I don't know how long it's been there. It's a long time.
Yeah, so you've had a longer relationship with this room, and it's always been there?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
You never noticed it before, is that what you're saying?
And before it got there, it's probably been in a cupboard somewhere for a long time. So
there's black smeary stuff inside. I'm going to go with it's coffee.
Right.
It'd have to be, wouldn't it?
Well, yes, I think so.
Right. Shall we pop the seal?
Yeah. Well, it's not exploding.
Oh, how crusty was that?
Yeah, it's coffee.
Now, what did we say last week? If we could get 10...
I'll take a punt and say it's Nescafe.
Alright, 10 people to comment
Well, we said 20.
Sorry.
You said 10 and then you changed it to 20. I think you were feeling a bit kind.
Holy shish kebab.
So if 20 people hit like, then I have to make a cup of coffee with this.
Have you seen it though? Like,
no,
are
I
you
haven't
sure?
seen it.
Look in there.
I don't really want to.
Just put your glasses on and have a look.
Oh. I think I'd be really sick, Ben.
Well, that's got to be.
I mean, if I take a little sip, perhaps if I get sick, then I won't.
Well, it all comes down to
collapse. I'll tell you what, I won't be doing it for Friday. If it's got to be a Friday on air, I won't be doing it before a Saturday when I'm teaching.
No,
because if I get violently crook,
imagine that in front of the class.
You know. Yeah.
Wow. I reckon let's go baby steps. If we get 20 likes, we'll make a brew, and then we'll just see what happens.
See whether it
see where the moment takes us. Yeah.
All right.
We're done.
That's it. Yep.
That's it.
So hopefully it's a bit more punchy than last time.
Yeah.
And as you can see, we're sorting out the process a bit more, and yeah.
Very good. We need a good sign off. Do you have a phrase that comes to mind, or like Saxby says, "See ya."
You know me better than that, Ben. I don't do that sort of stuff.
All right, we'll just see you soon.
There'll be a developing sign off, I would think, don't you think?
All right, I'm picturing the editing, just slow, the music coming in.
That's it.
And it's fading out now.